Hi everyone, welcome back to If My Heart Had Wings, Snow Presents. So today is December 28th, and you can see that there are already 2 events available for today. So for yesterday, December 27th, Aoi and Kotori went on a date to the amusement park, and sadly, we only got to see what happens in the Ferris wheel ride. So, Kotori was looking out the window and she was comparing it to her experience in the glider. Well, obviously, the Ferris wheel can only reach some altitude that is less than the altitude of the glider. So, she was also mapping out where they can go for today. So comparing what she sees from above to the map. And even though they have many events planned, so the haunted house, eating popcorn, or going on the roller coaster ride, the event that Kotori wanted the most was the carousel ride, merry-go-round. So the last time Kotori went to the amusement park was 6 years ago, and that was before her injury. And now that she can walk again, she wants to revisit the times when she was able to walk freely and without, or basically before the injury, where her family was all happy, all cheerful, and it was like a paradise in the Habane household. So this was also a chance for Aoi to fulfill one of the items on Kotori's to-do list, which is to walk hand in hand. And it looks like Kotori marked it off as done. So let's see how it goes today. Okay. So, looks like I was done with most of his duties as the dorm mother. Oh, so he had to go home to his place. So, his mother called him. And there's some errands that he had to do back home. So I wonder, has Kotori already eaten lunch? Okay, so looks like there are some club activities today, and I wonder what they did. Okay, so this is after lunch, and Aoi comes back to the Flying Fish Manor. And he sees Hat. So when I enter, I see Hat. And Hat just stands up. Oh. So he just pretty much just stands there and does nothing. Wait, so what are you doing? Well, I only know what Hat's thinking about, so I tried to go around him. But Hat blocks Aoi's path. So yeah, he blocks Aoi's path and... Okay, so how about go the other way? So Hat blocks Aoi again. So, you are not letting me through, right? Well, this is a problem. So apparently nothing is going to distract Hat, so no cucumber or lettuce. Oh, so I don't have anything to distract Hat, I have to go buy it. And I can try to force my way through, but I'm sure Hat will be upset, and when he does get serious, it becomes scary. So most of the time, he's on the lookout for Kotori. It's like the only reason he would do this is because Kotori must be doing something and doesn't want me to see. And so I'm sure Hat is under orders from Kotori, like, hey, don't let Aoi come close to me. I'm doing something special and I don't want him to see it. Wait. So is she in the dining room? Or the dining hall? Okay, so what happened before? Okay, so if I'm able to get into my own room, then it'll be okay, and Hat won't have to worry. But then again, he has to make his way past Hat, who is pretty much blocking the front door. So he can't go anywhere further than the front door. And it seems that Kotori hasn't noticed that I returned. Okay, so he has to leave. There's nowhere else to go. Okay, so I'll try to enter from the back door, or the side door. And he tries to be quiet, so Hat and Kotori don't notice. Okay, so he can see that Hat is still guarding the main entrance door. And because of the way that this hallway is shaped, so there's a corner, I'm able to hide and not be exposed. So I look softly from the entrance of the dining room. So Kotori is playing something secret, and I hope it's not something very bad. So Kotori looks like a villain trying to hunt down the hero, or some mad scientist who created some very dangerous weapon. Oh, so it's nothing more than Kotori eating a bucket of Hargen Darch. Let's see if we can see the whole ice cream cup. Okay. But then again, this Hargen Darch is not the usual flavor. So it must have been a one of a kind, or like a limited edition. Oh, so the family size bucket. So maybe like, I'm not sure if it's a 1 gallon bucket or, well, so a big bucket of premium Hargen Darch ice cream. And so I think it's like every scoop is worth 250 yen. Wait, let me see. Oh, so the entire bucket costs 250 yen. Okay, that makes more sense. And next to it, we see that there is a big spoon in Kotori's hand. And yes, silvery and dull. Wait, so she's going to eat it straight from the bucket. Well, come to think of it, so this is one of the items that was on Kotori's to-do list. So, eat Hargen Darch ice cream. And I think this was something that I mentioned that, well, you don't have to do it, or like that has nothing to do with your ability to walk. So even if you're still in the wheelchair, you'll be able to eat this. So seriously, is she going to eat all that ice cream? And I wonder what it is. That deja vu. So I felt that there's something similar to this in the past, or resembles something similar. So is it being done or just growing? And when I thought about such a thing, Kotori takes the spoon, or raises the spoon up. Okay, she'll eat it. So a spoonful, or this spoon's for curry, it pierced deep into the surface of the Hargen Darch ice cream. And Kotori scoops up a huge amount of ice cream. And it's kind of the size or the amount that Amane would eat when she's super hungry. So it's a huge spoonful. And wait, so that's going to be the first bite that Kotori's going to take? So I'm not sure what I was saying here. It's like this amount of ice cream is so immense. Oh, so this one spoonful is more than the cup size of Hargen Darch that they usually sell at convenience stores. And I hope Kotori doesn't get a stomachache from eating that much ice cream, because it's cold and it's not really good for your stomach. But Kotori is going to eat it anyways. And there she goes. Oh, that's good. And so Kotori's face, let's see. Okay, so she gives a mellow appearance while she eats the Hargen Darch, and her mouth is full of it. And she seems to be really happy from the bottom of her heart. Well, as a boyfriend, Hargen Darch, well, I am kind of jealous the way Kotori is eating that ice cream. Okay, so another scoop. And it's as much, so the same amount as the first one. So another big, I'm not sure how to say it. It's like a big mouthful of Hargen Darch in that one spoon. So there she goes. So another big bite. But then again, the reaction is not as exciting as the first one. Well, then again, she's already eaten one bite. And now another scoop. And I think this one is also another big monster scoop. And I hope Kotori isn't eating it too quickly. But that's what it looks like. Uh-oh. So I think... So when I thought that Kotori stopped moving, I distorted my expression in agony. Or like, it kind of hurts to see that Kotori stop moving normally. So I think Kotori just ate so much and she got that frostbite, which is that signature effect that you get from eating Hargen Darch. So wrinkles are drawn between the eyebrows and it trembles. And I think this is also, or I've seen this before. So I wonder, Kotori really did grow up. Or I'm not really growing. And if I think so, So it's a supreme luxury to be kneeling with Hargen Darch. And at the earliest, even the pain. So I could see some pleasure in that pain. And, so the way that Kotori ate the ice cream. So perhaps she deliberately ate it like Nin. And if so, it's a very maniac hobby. So I can't believe Kotori wants to eat it crazily just to experience that frostbite. And that's quite awkward. And more importantly, once again, it's bad for your body. So you give it so many scoops of icy cold ice cream to the stomach. And I wonder if Kotori noticed that I was lurking around. Well, that's probably why Kotori had Hat guard the door. It's like, well, I want to do it behind Aoi because I'll look bad and embarrassing to him. So, Hat, make sure he doesn't, or don't let him come close to me. There he goes. Like, well, I can't show this kind of appearance to Aoi. Because, well, it's bad manners and I'll look like a rowdy kid, so. And it's going to shatter his dreams and his impression of me being this really beautiful girl. So, cool, Alio. Okay, she really is saying it, says Aoi. So, I suddenly felt like I was screaming aloud, but I just endured it. So he really wanted to say something, but it's like, well, I can't because I can't let Kotori find out that I was spying on her the entire time. And it feels too tempting to just come out and exclaim. But anyways, Kotori's like, well, I did something that's on my to-do list, so I'm just going to go ahead and mark it complete. And because this person is happy, well, I'll just leave it at that, so say nothing else. And Kotori goes back to eating. So speaking of that, I remember Aoi telling me that he was going to clean up this place. And I wonder when it's going to happen. So he's going to clean up before the end of the year. So I think he's planning to clean up on the 30th of December. And I'm sure he's expecting me, Kotori, to help. Oh, so we're actually looking at it from Aoi's perspective. It's like, well, I also remember to clean this place up, and I'm going to do it on the 30th, and I want to have Kotori help me. Okay. Well, I have to throw that away before he spots it. So as we clean, I don't want him to see anything that's suspicious or it's going to make me look bad. So, the black history of the example. So if he finds it, it's going to be a problem. So I wonder what it is. Well, come to think of it, there was something like this in the notebook. So dispose the black history. And, okay, so I was wondering, what's that black history that Kotori's talking about? And is it somewhere in this dormitory? So I'm kind of curious and interested in knowing what this is. And if Kotori doesn't want Aoi to find it, she has to clean it up quick before he discovers it by accident. Well, even though the person or Kotori is not aware, I just wonder what this black history has to do with Kotori and why it would get her all worried. So, is it because it shows too much skin? That's what I was wondering. Well, and that kind of puts more dirty thoughts and ideas in Aoi's mind. Uh-oh. So I think Hat found out that Aoi was peeking from another angle. So Hat, who is watching from the front door, notices me. Okay, so you were sneaking in. Alright, I'm gonna go after you. There, over there. So Kotori's like, hey, so what happened, Hat? And Hat's like, look. Wait, so a burglar? Hey, so who's there? Says Kotori. So she goes and tries to find out. Well, I don't see anyone, says Kotori. So you must be seeing things, Hat. No. There was someone there. So maybe you're tired or bored of watching or guarding the door. So, well, I guess let's do something else. So come over here. Okay. And Hat's like, okay, well, if Kotori's gonna paper me, then I'll take it. Because guarding the door is boring. And I wonder where Aoi hid. Okay, so he hid in the shadows and he stays silent. And I wonder why Hat couldn't find... Well, I wonder how I was able to hide to the point where Kotori didn't notice anything. It's like, Hat, you must be seeing things. Okay, well, I'll just leave before I get caught. And if I do peek at Kotori and get caught, I'm sure it would be bad. So something about having roots on a yearly basis. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and do some club activities. And, well, I do apologize that I kind of disturbed Kotori's little excitement. So next. So, what about lunch? So more about lunch and worry about this Black history for Kotori. But anyways, it looks like Kotori is able to mark one of the items on her to-do list as done. So eat Hargen Darch ice cream. And if it is familiar, this kind of happens similarly in the very beginning of the original title, so If a Heart of Wings. And that was the time when Kotori was trying to avoid Aoi. It's like, well, I don't see you as the new dorm mother for the Flying Fish Manor. And when he heard Kotori tell Hats, like, well, guard my path, make sure that mean boy does not follow me or see me. Aoi sneaks into the kitchen, like, well, if Kotori's gonna play that with them, I'm just going to hide from view and surprise her. And that was when he saw Kotori eat a huge bucket of Hargen Darch ice cream, and the first time he saw Kotori get that frostbite, and the to-do list. And Aoi ends up sneaking behind Kotori, and that shocks Kotori. So I'm sure this time she tries to be more careful. It's like, well, Garl interest is make sure Aoi does not see me. And Hat is more proactive, he's smarter, and he's going to make it or be more successful and not let it slip like it did the first time. So anyways, going past the Hargen Darch, let's see what the other event is. Okay, so Kotori's like, I'm back. Oh, I'm back too. Okay, so I think it's Aoi coming back from club activities. So Hat greets us when we come home after club activities. Oh, so both Kotori and Aoi went to... And we can see Kotori picking up Hat. So I wonder what they did for club activities, because there's nothing really they can do because, well, it's winter and I don't think the glider needs to be repaired or fixed like it did in the original title because they already have something. So today's the last day they could do club activities anyways. And I wonder what's said before that, so let me see. So Kotori picks Hat from the floor and strokes him, or his head. Okay, so they went to clean the hangar. Okay, so it's like, well, there isn't really much work on the glider, but let's just do some housekeeping. So I wonder, is there still some time before dinner? So what is Kotori saying about sparring? So Kotori says this, and her eyes are filled with that burning or fighting spirit, and she is very motivated. So apparently Kotori's thinking about that Street Fighter or Street Fighter 4, the fighting game that Kotori has been playing with Kotori has been playing with Ageha. And now Kotori's kind of be influenced by the game. So it looks like a new version has come out. So Street Fighter 5 or Street Fighter 5. Oh, so Street Fighter 4 Dash. So there's more characters in this version, and they kind of adjusted to the power levels. So they might have nerfed some of the more powerful characters in Street Fighter 4, and they probably beefed up some of the other characters as well. So Kotori borrowed the game from the new club member, so Nakamura Harumi. So the junior, well, even though it sounds like a female name, it's actually a guy. Okay, so we're free until 6:30 p.m. and I'm gonna go prepare some rice. Okay, that sounds good. And now they go back to playing that game. So they set up the game console in the dining room. So you got this from Harumi, right? So let's see what he also says. Okay, so Harumi often lends me this game, so I would just go buy it instead. Well, actually, my parents bought it for me at Christmas, so I have a copy of this title, and I don't need to borrow Harumi's copy anymore.
はるみちゃんは先輩思いなのよ。
So let's see. So Harumi-chan feels like he's our senpai, so being very supportive and helpful and offering good advice and being like the older brother, kind of like Tatsuya or Anchan.
それに、もう結構遊んだって言ってたし。
So he says that he's already played this title for quite a bit. So it seems that this guy has really good gaming skills for this Street Fighter game. And he knows how to plan correctly. And is really good with his hands. So dexterous. And when it comes to the capacity of the game, so he's good at this game, and he doesn't let people know about his gaming skills compared to Ageha.
はるみちゃんがゲーム得意だってもっと早く知ってたら、こないだみたいな無様なことにはならずに済んだのに。
Well, if I didn't know that Harumi-chan was really good at games, I could have asked him for advice earlier, and it wouldn't come out to this way. And Kotori seems to regret it. So, looks like Kotori still remembers about the time when she lost to Ageha. So, that was on the 23rd of December.
もし今からでもやり直せるなら、はるみちゃんにアドバイスもらってから戦いを挑むのにな。
So I wish I can go back to it. So I wish I could have gotten the advice earlier so I can go and fight Ageha with it. And Kotori's worried about such a trivial thing. Well, okay, so I was asking Kotori, or telling Kotori, it's like, well, you did say that you were going to do better next time. So if you found another opportunity, you would be able to use it or plan very carefully and hopefully have a better chance of success against Ageha.
そうね。いつかリベンジするわ。
Well, yeah, so I remember, and someday I'm gonna have my revenge. Okay. So Kotori looks at the strategy book that she also borrowed together with him, Aoi. So okay, so she's the type who gets anxious or gets fixated about winning or losing a game. And it's like, well, it is good to want to win, but I'm sure using some player's guide or strategy guide, that's going too far. And I know some people say that using like a player's guide is like cheating in the game. So figuring out all the secrets and using it to your advantage. But then again, that's like a legit way to cheat versus hacking the game or modding it. Because that's obviously illegal, and you may break game license agreements. But then again, so thinking about it from another angle, I'm sure Harumi is a very wonderful person.
はるみちゃんならアゲハのことギッタンギッタンにできるかもね。
And I wonder, so if we pit Harumi against Ageha, I think it'll be a very interesting match. Or like if I do learn a lot from Harumi, I might be able to beat Ageha.
何せ全国レベルだもん。
So, let's see. Well, I'm sure on a large scale, so... I wonder. So, even if his force is good, or ability is good, I'm sure it might be possible due to personality. Well, anyways, because he's a junior who can do the attention, see what Aoi thinks. Like, well, he is a caring junior who lends the game to, or a game that I just bought to his senpai.
さあ、始めるわよ、葵。
Well, anyways, let's start gaming. Okay. So he plays this fighting game with Kotori until dinner time. Okay, so we're back on the calendar. So I think what I was trying to say at the end is that, well, even though Harumi is really good at playing this Street Fighter game, he's too nice, and when he competes against Ageha, so even though Ageha's not as good when it comes to skills and techniques like Harumi, Ageha can still beat Harumi because she's going to use her skills and advantages and techniques to her full extent as opposed to him. So I think what happens now is that we unlock more text or more dialogue on the day when Kotori was trying to compete with Ageha on the Street Fighter game. So like a what if scenario is like, well, what if Aoi was able to offer help from other people to Kotori and have them give Kotori some pointers that she could use to beat Ageha. So I'm going to skip the beginning because we've already seen that on the 23rd and go right to where the difference surfaces. So hold on for a minute. Okay, so I've advanced to the part on December 23 where Aoi wonders, so I wonder if there's other people that I can recommend to Kotori, so have them give some advice on playing this game. And here we get all the options. So, let's see. Okay, so I'm not sure what these options are. So I think the first one is Masasugu. So that was suggested on the 24th of December. So so I say that Mabo is quite open and crowded. Or let's see what. So Mabo has been playing this game quite a bit. So Masasugu. And I do remember when we were little kids, Mabo would play something like Street Fighter 2 at the arcade, and I do remember or have memories of him playing very well against other people. Well, then again, so we like to ask if there are any countermeasures under no circumstances. So I called Masasugu and he answered right away. Oh, so he calls him and just asks him for some advice. So, can you help me on this? I understand, so, I'll share this with Kotori. So, thank you very much, Mabo. Okay, so he got some advice over the phone. And when I put the cell phone away, I handed the information I got from Masasugu to Kotori. So I wrote it on a piece of paper and just handed it to Kotori.
確かに、それは強そうな連携ね。ちょっと試してみていいかしら。
So it seems that there seems to be some strong collaboration. So I wonder if I should give it a try. So it looks like Masasugu does have some good ideas about how to win. So work together or team effort or... Okay. So we continue to play together. And so Masasugu mostly talked about team effort, cooperation, how to work together so maximize each other's advantages. In a sense. And after a long time... Oh, so it's already time. So the person who went by... Well, do you have that? Oh, so I think it's about time, so...
そうね。
Okay. So Kotori puts the controller down and breathes deeply. So Aoi asks Kotori, so, are you going now?
ええ、アドバイスのおかげでレベルアップできたと思う。
Well, I think this is good, so I should be able to level up and use this device and gain an advantage. So Masasugu's information is certain, and it seems that it's giving Kotori the fighting spirit. So I was like, well, good luck then. Okay. Okay, so in the afternoon, welcome back, Kotori. So did it work?
ただいま、葵、ハット。
Hello, Aoi and Hat. So how was it?
ボッコボコにされた。
Well, it was horrible. So it looks like Masasugu's strategy didn't work.
今日だけで30連敗したわ。もうやだ、なんなのあいつ、ムカつく。
And Kotori is still angry. So she was too good. So it seems that Masasugu's techniques didn't work, right?
全然ダメ、まるで使えない。全部バレバレで、アゲハのやつしっかり返し方まで知ってたわ。
So let's see why it failed. So it had no effect, it didn't do anything, it didn't give me any advantage, and Ageha was able to break it. So it was no match for Ageha.
むしろ、そのせいでいつもより負けた。
And it seemed that even so, if I used it or not, I would still be defeated in the same amount of time easily. Oh, so actually it was worse. So I lost quicker. And it seems to make Kotori cry. It's like, well, I can't believe I learned this, or I went great lengths to learn this strategy, only to find that it makes my team or my player worse. So I was like, well, that's right. Okay, so... Okay, so I was like, well, I kind of regret that I ever asked Masasugu for help, because from second thought, he didn't really win any matches. So he does have some kind of strategy, but it's never proven to work. So And then again, I'm sure based on Masasugu, I'm not sure what Aoi says here is like, there's no reason to beat the tactics of Masasugu. So I think it's like, well, I'm sure there are many holes that I can see with his techniques that Ageha could easily pierce through. So anyways, so something about Asahi. And maybe the regrettable expectation that had been made unnecessary. Okay, so I feel more regretful just because I challenged myself poorly and confidently. And it seems worse than originally, so now Kotori's crying. Kotori runs into her room. So are you still in the mood for supper? Dinner? No. I'm not gonna eat. I'm angry. And I was like, well, do you have to clear Kotori's new note of what you want to do? It's like, well, I wonder if Kotori's going to have to revise her to-do list now that this happened. So Kotori's lost all motivation to compete against Ageha. Well, I don't know. Okay, so it ended in a much bigger failure than before. And I think what might have contributed to it is because, well, you're playing against Ageha, and Ageha has been together with Aoi and Masasugu, so I'm sure when Kotori used it, Ageha might have sensed that, oh, this must be Masasugu's technique. Okay, I know how to counter it easily. And that's why Ageha was able to easily defeat Kotori. So let's go back and see what happens in the other options. So hold on for a minute. Okay, so going back, let's see what happens if Aoi asks Harumi for advice. So that would be the second option. So thinking about it, I do remember that Harumi is a gamer. But then again, I kind of wonder that. So I thought his hobby was making models or sculptures. Well, he is quite interested in many things, so. But anyways, he calls Harumi and gets a response. Okay, so once again, hello. Any advice that I could use? And I think it's a lot more complicated to understand, so. But anyways, he still takes notes and he gives it to Kotori. So I think Harumi's advice is like, well, how about you substitute? So you change characters from time to time, or like take turns. And so either way, it's too hard for Aoi to understand, so he gives it to Kotori and has Kotori talk to him directly. Okay. Okay, so you can use this and that, and so it seems that Kotori is lightening up, so she's smiling and okay, yes, okay, I'll remember that, I'll do this, and it kind of feels like, so some villain who heard the intrigue from Ekigawa.
アゲハをギッタンギッタンにできるなら。
Okay, yeah, I can play this and this. Yeah, you know, that Ageha person, she's quite brash and she does use this a lot and,
ありがとう、はるみちゃん。今度ご褒美にアイスをおごってあげるわ。高いやつよ。
Okay, so thank you very much, Harumi-chan. So if I do succeed, I'll buy ice cream for you. So, I'll give you a really good treat. So, when the phone conversation ends, Kotori puts the controller on the ground. Or
何やってるの、葵。すぐに練習するわよ。
Okay, so I got some ideas, so let's practice now. Oh, so she picks up the controller. Okay. And I continue playing with Kotori, who has this floated, dauntless smile, or fearless smile. And after a long time, so Kotori puts the controller down silently. Oh, so Kotori, so you ready? And you can see Kotori like, I'll do it this time.
ええ、私より強いやつに会いに行ってくる。
Okay, so it's time to face off the opponent. So, the Master Ageha. I said nothing and just took a look at Kotori from the back side. Okay, so now does this work? So once again, Kotori's back. Welcome back, Kotori! And Hat. So Kotori comes back silent and... Oh, I was looking down. And the expression seems dark. So I think this one might have been a failure too. But anyways, I would ask Kotori, like, so how was it? Okay, so looks like the Harumi advice worked. So Kotori's like, bingo, I did well. So Kotori makes the V sign simultaneously while smiling in the happiest of the moods.
にっくきあげをギッタンギッタンにしてやったわ。
So I finally did it. I finally beat Ageha. Ooh, wow. And Hat's happy too?
いやー、ほんと楽勝だったわ。アゲハのやつ、私の攻撃を全くガードできなくて、途中から泣きそうな顔してたもん。
But you know, it was a really hard victory. And I'm sure Ageha tried her best, but when I put my attack, or I attacked Ageha's character, Ageha wasn't able to defend it properly and received damage. And at some point, she was crying from the middle. So I was like, so is it because of all those techniques, tricks that Harumi taught you?
さすが私たちの後を継ぐべくソアリング部に入ってきた後輩ね。やるわよ、彼。
So yeah, it's him. So I feel that it was basically a chance of luck. So Harumi coming into the soaring club to help us and help us become even better. So I'm sure, looking forward, Harumi is going to make our soaring club even better. Well, let's see. So the raising up and all those things worked. So it does show that Harumi is a master at this. And when it came to other things, so Harumi did teach Aoi some new ideas despite being a junior. So let's see. So it's extremely villainous It's called the Unguardable Cooperation. So most fight games have the command where you can guard your opponent's moves. So pull the lever behind or push the guard button. Oh, so Kotori's like, well, I would try to guard Kotori's attacks as much as possible. And I think that's where Ageha has her weakness. But then again, this guarding technique does... Okay, so try to make the situation unguardable, and it creates a situation where it cannot be guarded by exploiting bugs and system inconsistencies. So apparently, games run on computer code, and if you play correctly, you might expose some glitches that will give you an advantage. And I'm sure when you play for so many hours, you can discover those glitches. And the one which can be guarded is a game system of the premise, and it can be very strong. So if you know how the game works, and when it does have glitches, or when you can safely guard against your opponent, then that's going to be a really big advantage. And moreover, the collaboration is said to be some bug technique discovered last night. So in other words, it's a limited time bug technique that can only be used now. So it's like the game got released, or like, I wonder if this is the newest version. It's like they found some bug, and it's good for now, but eventually, if the developers find out, they're gonna patch it, and it can no longer be used. So for now, Kotori can enjoy. And if you can't guard yourself, there's some attacks where you can lose lots of HP and it'll be an instant KO. And once I get those victories, it makes it easier and I become more confident. And plus, I get to see Ageha all upset because she lost. So Kotori's, or I was like, well, you know, that technique is not the best of the techniques that you can use, so you should try to figure out a better technique in the future. But for now, it'll work. But that involves glitching the system or finding some bugs or loopholes in the game software. But it's like, well, all that matters is that I get to see Ageha all upset, and she was complaining about all the different attacks that I was able to unleash at her. But the end result is that I won. Well, maybe he taught something that shouldn't be taught to Kotori, so Harumi. Well, then again, moderately. But anyways, I'm happy I'm done, so I accomplished what I wanted to do, so I don't need to play this that hard anymore, so I'm moving on. So Kotori says it, well, it's easy for Kotori to say, but isn't this a pattern that makes me regret more? But then again, this is one of the things that Kotori wanted to fulfill on our to-do list. So, win a match against Ageha. A competition match. And now that I won, so I'm going to buy some Hargen Darch. So let's eat. So it is a very victorious, very extraordinary outcome for Kotori. So after 103 straight losses, playing with her in this game, she was able to make a really big comeback at the end, and that's why Kotori is extremely happy. And going back to Hatsek, well, for time being, let's just leave at this and I'll follow you later. Quack, hello? So I don't think Hat knows what is going on. And there we see Kotori marking done on competing against Ageha in a competitive match. Okay, so we're back on the calendar, and I'm going to go ahead and stop here. So tomorrow we'll see what happens with this event. And anyways, it looks like this day went much longer than I expected because I also had to show the different what-if scenarios for the 23rd. And there is one more option on there, if I remember, and I think that just takes you back to the, well, if I ask no one for advice, I'll just say, like, well, no one's going to be able to help. And we've already seen that the first time around, so it's going to be the exact same thing as what I've shown you for the episode on December 23. So anyways, with that in mind, I'll see you tomorrow.